Yo, good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Oops. Okay, cool. Cool. Good morning, chat. Good morning. We are well, we were supposed to, what do you call it? We were supposed to be watching the EMEA games, but I think the other side is still going. Which, I mean, we're not really, we are not really like invested into them, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. We're not really invested into the Oceania scene, but I mean, it looks like this team is rolling the other team. But we will start EMEA right after this. Let me see. Oh my god, I keep having hiccups. Hello, Jay. This is my first time on stream. Yo, good morning. Hello. Okay, chat. Let's just watch this game real quick. It's not anything that we watch, but
I'm going to be switching over to the Venom as Juffa Mag as well is playing the Venom too. I'm so excited to see this game, Nancy. It's gonna be huge. It's so different. It's so exciting.
I don't know if that.
They always teasing me like that. No Hawkeye. No
Why are they very
worries,
excited about this? It's 3-0.
Wins the battle of the Panthers.
There's no way.
It's the KO on it to Bethig, but now Tinny Valkyrie is focused up onto the strategist. Ooh, big freeze coming through on the Zendstari. They will be able to pick up Citrus and Lick eventually, but one in the same. A duet going down there. So they're just trading KOs across the Venoms right now. Tinny Valkyrie going to be in a lot of trouble and may need to evacuate the dance floor into the mission area here. We'll see.
To be honest with you,
what else they are going to be able to do, because now the tides turn.
I feel like everything's different. The way they like spectate the scoreboard, the UI, everything's just so different. Like up here, it's 3. This is 0 instead of like, huh? Huh. Merc. Is it Merc with a mouth? Is that how you say your name? I appreciate the massive prime sub, my friend. Deadlifted this morning while watching the VOD of last night's game I missed. Oh my god, did you see the games? Oh my god, the games yesterday were insane. The games yesterday were literally insane. It was crazy.
Building up piece by piece, yeah, little by little, they look to settle in to this one.
Okay, I'm glad I said the name one. Usually, yeah, the last interview as well was crazy.
And may just be looking to utilize that to stall out some of the presence here. Zendstari, Beast of the Abyss coming out, looking to see if they can get more.
Texting my dad.
Locked in on the Panther, big damage. And there goes Zendstari. This is a great way to open the account here. Chopper Mag already creating distance between themselves. Trying to see if they can claw things back here. Bethig trying to take
I love the accent, bro. I love the accent of this guy.
They try and shut down that Panther, but can't
also,
get it over the top just
I just want to say,
he certainly can say goodbye to Bobo. And there could be more where that came from.
Oceania has a very weird comp. I mean, this team over here, VR. Why is VR running 1 tank, 2 DPS, and then the 3? Oh no, sorry, no, they're running 2 tanks. 2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 supports. Never mind. I thought they were running 3 supports for a second.
As Bobo is in the backline of Broken Red, looking at Tinny Valkyrie does have
and then this Cho MG team is running Blade in a tournament? Would you ever play Rivals Pro? No, chat. I'm a streamer, man. This doesn't even look like a close series.
but Bulk and Red are not done yet in this overtime fight here. Mad Team, they are still holding on and are trying their best.
Oh.
It's clean. They're trying their best, but their best just ain't good enough into that first mission area there. It's going to be locked down by Chopper.
Yeah, this is Oceania. The EMEA starts after this is done.
And now it's time to enter the Eldritch Monument. And let's see.
Unless it started on a different website.
Into this next sector here as the Blade is bringing out all that power. And the 1000-fold slash would be right around the corner.
Oh, wait.
But not just that. Everyone's been here in this exact position.
Chat, we're live.
To take a rocket down.
We're live. I thought it was on the same. I didn't know they had a different Twitch for Oceania.
The rest of his team comes out of the God of Mischief window into the Devious Exchange so that he doesn't get picked far away from his team and buys the time for them to come back on.
I didn't know there was just a specific Oceania
with an eye of
YouTube. I mean Twitch. My bad.
Fans out there, sorry about that. Both Leolaz and Smashnez being unable to connect with that last little shot onto Rocket Raccoon. Did you see how low his health went towards that culling? I believe it was 39. I think 35 is the cutoff, or maybe 37.5 is the cutoff to be executed by the culling aura of Winter Soldier. Give over that reset that would have put FaZe back into that fight and back into that map. Alas, wasn't to be. Crook's got the moves. Guy's got motion. There's nothing else to say about it. And we might see a little bit of Rocket Raccoon on domination.
Yeah, but I don't understand the Blade in pro play.
Jeff makes it through, as it seems like Na'Vi and Citadel both have been embracing.
Okay, I'm gonna start the predictions
Jeff and Ultron and
when
Rocket Raccoon
we
in any combination of
teams,
two do
chat.
make for a fairly unpin-downable backline.
Virtus
so
Pro
continue playing these
against
weird
Na'Vi. It's gonna be a great game, chat. Virtus Pro against Na'Vi.
Yeah, it's actually seeing a lot of value on domination, like you said, on an undiveable composition. But not just that, if you are trying to run dive yourself, you know that you're likely going to get countered. There are so many things in the meta that have CC frames that, you know, even if you go for a soft dive kind of playstyle,
actually, I should just start the predictions now. It looks like they're showing the teams. Okay, chat, if you guys want to get your predictions in, go ahead.
Even if it doesn't match.
I know there's not a lot of people in as soon as we start the stream, but if you guys want to bet, you guys can bet.
To be able to take it down before those fights begin, which buys you
lower
a lot more
bracket
space and opportunity
finals.
to push onto a team as we get ready to head
This
into
is
our first round.
Virtus Pro versus
and I expect to
Na'Vi.
see Japs getting target banned out immediately.
Yep, Krakoa definitely a great
chat.
area for Jeff.
Let's get it. Come on, I need you guys to be hyped. This is going to be the fucking. These are going to be the best games today. The best.
They're not even going to prioritize Mantis either. They want the Ultron. So we might be looking at an undivables composition here.
I mean, the Ultron is now going to mean that things like that Star-Lord are going to be able to gain a lot of traction, as Virtus Pro now have to
This is the
decide
third
what
time
exactly they
Na'Vi
want
and
to
VP
use the
fight
span
in
on.
stage
Do
2.
they go for the Mantis since Na'Vi didn't save it? Or do they start taking things away that the Ultron could potentially pocket? And indeed, there it goes. Star-Lord has been removed. As we've seen on Krakoa, Virtus Pro like having Ultron and Human Torch in play, and Star-Lord was the main thing stopping them.
Yeah, great way to try and counteract the Human Torch or the Ultron. The Rage of Ultron is essentially helpless against Galactic Legend when it gets popped. It's going to be the one-sided Jeff here for Virtus Pro.
Virtus Pro saved Jeff, a one-sided Jeff.
Now they're going to start taking away options from Virtus.
Never
Pro,
thought I would get so excited for a one-sided Jeff.
On their own.
Not really excited,
Shenanigans is going to be the priority shutdown.
Yeah, that one's got to go.
Is Sentinel's going to land?
We'll
We'll know next week. Thursday, well, this week coming up. Thursday to Sunday is going to be the NA finals. This is just
shenanigans sustainability. Na'Vi now are also going to equalize and mirror out that Star-Lord ban. As you can see, that Virtus Pro once again are still targeting things that this Ultron could potentially pocket. Something else that hasn't been targeted in terms of bans, because I mean, normally, previously, we wouldn't really see it being worth it, is the Psylocke that Sparker has in the back pocket. If Ultron is in play, Psylocke is going to have a very strong target to turn her attention into, as Virtus Pro are going to use their second save on the Emma Frost to make sure that if they have to play into retakes, they've got things like Psionic Seduction, so that they can actually move forward from their position rather than being bottlenecked into those chokes, plus being able to provide both frontline aggression and kill potential with the Carbon Crush against any dive targets. As Na'Vi still have things like both the Captain America and the Venom in play for their own team.
There you go.
All right, one-sided Luna Snow.
How's the prediction looking here, chat? How's the prediction? You guys all think Na'Vi is going to beat Virtus Pro. Wow. Actually, not everyone. There's more people voting for Virtus Pro, but Na'Vi has more money.
Whenever they can be very valuable against flying targets, like something, for example, a Human Torch, if it gets dragged out by fire here.
I mean, it also means that Sparker could potentially go Psylocke himself, and as you pointed out, Psylocke still has that projection team up with the Emma. They're going to have some pretty good targets too. The problem for Na'Vi is that they're going to have triple strategists, which means that they should be able to triage against this dive fairly easily, so it's likely just going to be trying
Who should
to
I put
pull
my
as much
30K points on
as possible, given the fact that I don't currently see an
Both-
invisible woman being hovered either.
Both teams are really fucking good. I don't know. This could be.
Makes it a little bit harder for that Psylocke.
This could go any direction.
Of value as opposed to just forcing resources and attention.
Na'Vi could win, or
trying to get a bigger
Na'Vi could choke, or Virtus Pro can win, or they can choke. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you which of our teams is going to walk out on top here. It seems like Citadel is the favorite, but they're all exchanging games and we're all here ready to
Just
play at the apex
put
of
all
their
your money
abilities.
on one team, bro.
What,
It's a
Citadel's
50-50 chance to win, right? There's only two teams. It's like going to the casino, putting everything on black or red.
And what bands are going to be
And then it happened to land on green and you lose everything, even though it's like a, what, 2% chance?
Is going to be Cradle, which we're going to see Na'Vi actually not getting to lean into having that Adam Warlock still available for them. It is a Ultron Mantis Luna triple strategist lineup that they've decided to go for, as Virtus Pro are going to be putting priority in keeping all of those resources on 5.
A lot of damage going to be pumped out of Jerky here. Asapa is already forced back behind cover. Sparker looking round the outside. Nevix
Oh, level 1 Crook is the first one to get a pick.
Rolling forward with their primary fires.
Oh wait, but Virtus Pro coming back.
Of the Landshark around the side. Naga forced to flee away.
Okay, I will say I think Virtus Pro does have probably the better comp for this map. That is a good comp.
Allows them to cut through Na'Vi and claim
A lot of pressure. You have Sparker. Yeah, Sparker flanking. You have Fi doing a lot of damage from the skies. Saipei. Wait.
Harder than pocketing a Starlord who has things like those iframes to make sure.
Virtus Pro has some shit healing though. Jeff Ultron healing.
Control on the board. Get to start exerting pressure with both the Psylocke and Captain America jumping onto Na'Vi, stalling at their approach, and allowing Fi and Saipei better spam angles.
Better spam, more chance to get those ultimates ready. Finns has already lost the majority of their shield here, so he's not going to stick around for long, but it was all a distractionary measure to allow Nevix to get round the back, spinning kick Mantis.
Yeah, Sparker, a lot of the Virtus Pro players are from
Yummy.
Overwatch League, from Overwatch.
Na'Vi just aren't getting any dive opportunities either because they don't really have anything to send with Trust Me. Normally it would be a Starlord, potentially a Psylocke, but Sparker actually banned that one out, so he doesn't have to worry about
Captain America
controlling
doesn't really count
another
as a
Psylocke
support until he
with
gets
a
his
Venom
ult.
and
And
Emma.
how often
And
does he
Psylocke
get
with
his
a
ult?
Luna advantage too. Virtus Pro
Who are you
in full
twerking for
control of the
today?
space. Finns is just going to be able to scout the rotations.
I'm gonna start charging for people to for me to twerk for their team.
Saipei is also getting a bird's eye angle into seeing what the Venom is doing, calling that out to his team so they can counter rotate away.
Saipa is kind of intractable up here as well. You can't really remove him with any ease. The second he takes any damage, can get back behind the cover. The Dancer of Butterflies up against the patty cake, but it falls.
Damn, Virtus Pro is.
So the flashes can be concentrated up to the sky and attempt to
Oh my god, bro! Virtus Pro looked like they woke up today.
Clusters managed to
They were
through metal.
They're ready to fuck.
Trust Me goes down late too. You'll at least be back relatively quickly, but you can already see Virtus Pro starting to rotate to figure out whether or not Na'Vi are going to look for the portal behind the point, or if they're going to rely on the Doctor Strange. And it is going to be Rajari swapping over to the Doctor Strange. Naga actually goes over to the Cloak and Dagger, so they can maybe find a blind to take one of these players down early.
Of a Cloak and Dagger, I think it may have faded to Rajaro while he was channeling that portal. We saw Tridra going for Eat once again, but Na'Vi have played these games before, and they've seen all of the potential answers to it. The Ensong Inferno takes to the skies, and the Soul Bond is already
he kind of just
Fincy still can't
fell
stand
I
up
mean,
to
they
this
still
one,
got
and
99%.
Na'Vi
I think the hardest thing for Virtus Pro is probably going to be able to try to take the point, because I just don't think they have enough sustain or the healing, bro. I don't know. Like they're a very good like attack team, go fast, do a lot of damage, try to get the kills, and then you win the fight. But I don't know.
of attention.
If their sustain is
on
good.
That Emma does have certain
I
selection.
don't know. Coco, I appreciate the massive 100 bits. Hope you're having a great day.
The backline from the Vanguards.
Seeing a little bit of uptime, and of course some of those interceded as well by the Guardian shield that was raised on up. Invisible boundary, an attempt to drag someone forth from it, but Rajara just holds up a shield of a Seraphim, and the rest of Na'Vi are cuddled up nice and warm behind it.
Wait, did he just say La Seraphim? What does K-pop have to do here?
Trying to stop the disengagement as they do have displacement effects. The Rage of Ultron rains on down towards the back lines of Na'Vi as Rajara makes an intercessant maneuver. Out comes both. Oh, what an interrupt. Trust me, loses the ultimate, but Nevix pays for being so far forward to try and challenge that Vanguard. The remainder of the team is damage boosted here by Fate's Fate of Both Worlds. That's a confusing one. Rajara has the Eye of Agamotto.
I mean, it was also a CC cancel too, so trust me, we'll have Feast of the Abyss to channel with Jerky's End Song Inferno within this next fight, and Virtus Pro do not have a lot of sustainability in the
I just
face
arrived.
of
Is there
those
another
ultimates
game? No,
being
this is the
combined.
first game
Nevix is
of
going to look to portal directly onto target to try and force Ica Soulbind or find the pick onto the Adam Warlock. Burn that
finals. This is the lower bracket finals, and then after this, they go to the grand finals.
Fast one though. Drujo from elsewhere, looking over towards Fate, prioritizing trying to grab that Luna Snow, and indeed will be able to work that one out. Grabs her own Dr. Strange, so there's no shield to defend them. Rajara managed to move in with the daggers of Dinak and hold strong upon the point. Fincy believes it might be winnable, and so pops the freedom charge. The hallowed cries of freedom here will match with just the material plane.
No, games end today.
Played by Naga to draw two friends and add them to the hand. And indeed, Na'Vi now have all the numbers that they need to try
I
and hold
swear this guy never reads the tube chat. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, looking at your previous message, why would I read that?
What a turnaround.
It's not that I'm ignoring you, it's just that
composition in a nutshell.
I'm ignoring that
Roll
message.
Your opponent
Like,
when you have better spam angles. Get rolled when you're trying to play into retake and you're up against that level of attention. They tried to go for these really long wraparounds too, with Fi not going for the challenge of spam, but more putting pressure onto the backline to force Navi's position into.
I think Virtus Pro has a really good attacking. Like they go fast, they do a lot of damage. They have good, like, you know, they have Sparker, they have Fi on the DPS. You know, obviously 14-2 and 13-1. But Na'Vi just has 3 supports. They got more sustain, bro.
When things like that Psylocke tried to go for the jump, and it also meant that they had invisible boundary to put onto point, so that Virtus Pro, even with the ultimate pressure, couldn't.
Is YouTube chat still arguing? No.
Can't remember if it was Fate or Naga as well, but the swap over to that Cloak and Dagger to get the Dark Force teleportation, giving Rajara the iframe against the potential eat on that portal was crazy, because not only did it mean that Rajara got the portal off and they got the final contest, but also that Drujo got the self-stun from missing the ultimate and then was easily pickable by the remainder of Na'Vi who were gathered up.
Saipe is going to be able to build Rage of Ultron incredibly quickly in this next engagement. Finzi already going to be trying to put pressure onto that backline to stop Na'Vi from getting to play aggressive over towards the objective with both the Eye of Agamotto and Invisible Boundary that they know they have an advantage against in terms of ultimate economy. Out comes the End Song Inferno first, trying to target 5. Doesn't manage to find the pick, and in the meantime, Naga actually gunned down.
Naga going to be able to self-revive here with the Cocoon Revive. Rajara tanking a good number of those slashes from Sparker. The sustainability for the rest of Virtus Pro was kept up by Saipe's Rage of Ultron, but Sparker managed to fall through the cracks, and now Trust Me looks towards the back. Access to the Jeff. Playing around that tree stump does make it a little bit harder for the Venom to be able to try and connect with the Dark Predations as they take to the sky and get another frenzied arrival in towards the back line. Seems like Na'Vi have most of the space.
I feel bad, man. Let's not make fun of that guy. I felt so bad. I don't know who that is, but I feel like I kind of went too hard on him.
Not full control of the space, so Fine Saipe are going to have a little bit more.
I feel like I did go a little too hard on him. I don't want that guy to hate me.
Scouting out Finzi so that the Captain America doesn't provide an opportunity for everyone to turn their heads away from the flyers vulnerable up in that sky. Rajara with the Eye of Agamotto being very careful about Navix, but that's Carbon Crush already on cooldown.
Supernova popped out here by Fi. Nice right-click stun coming through from Jerky, forcing Sparker to just dash away. And Fi's had to take cover here. No, they can't carve through the healing provided by the Fate of Both Worlds. The Fate of Both Worlds is over, and Nevix is stunned out now by Rajaro. But it's Streeter around the outside with eyes and a couple of strategists. Question is, can Dredro survive this one? Is going over towards the outside. There are no mobility options to be had. No Cocoon Revive.
Damn.
It's a double for Dredro. Environmental hazards claim the backline of Na'Vi, and that's a flip for VP.
Not just that, but Adam, if he goes off of the map, actually doesn't get the opportunity to go for a Cocoon Revival. So Jeff, even if it was up, would have been able to prevent him from joining into that fight with Karmic Revival and stalling the point long enough for Na'Vi to build up the ultimate economy of Invis Boundary and Feast of the Abyss. Or
Yo, just tell him. Appreciate that's a raid, my friend. I hope you had a great stream.
No choice but to hold themselves directly on that point or let it flip. Spark is going to be trying to build up the Dance of the Butterflies to force out that Invis Boundary early.
I like how Trust Me is trying to hit this guy in the sky. He's just climbing all the buildings and just trying to hit this guy.
Jerky refreshes their HP bar as well. Looked like they were only 35 when they launched that one, so definitely was a lot of pressure towards the back. Activate the patty cake, or better yet, just the invisible boundary.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hope that was a good one.
It falls down to the ice starts. Hit scan from downrange. Fates finds that. Vinci can't survive for long without the additional healing given over by that Ultron. And Fi now just working off the back of being an unhittable menace, but Jerky didn't get the memo. A direct use of the flame cluster to destroy that particular individual, and Virtus.pro are forced off the point.
Yeah, now they find the flip with Karmic Revival in hand, and they can stagger themselves too. They can have Trust Me hold on to the point objective while everyone gets set up for the res, and then when everyone's set up for the res, the Venom can absorb that position on the point. Fi's going to be coming real close to the Supernova though, and Naga has already used the self-cocoon too. So if Virtus.pro with either the Torch or the Psylocke can track the Adam's location down, they should be able to stop the ultimate prematurely.
I said let's got a good angle to try and work with here.
Oh, I'll enjoy. Today's a good day. Today is a good day for matches.
Jojo looking towards the back. The pressure's already there. Flying above it all is Rojaro. Only the Invisible Woman is grabbed, and this is not the easiest environmental frag. You might have to real hard for this one. And indeed, it's the ultimate commitment. An 07 in the Chaz. We salute Dredro for their sacrifice given. Virtus.pro now. They've got to try and deal with the resurrection. They've interrupted Naga. They've managed to get level 1 Crook. Can Naga self-revive? It seems like it's going to be on cooldown still, and now Na'Vi just doing their best to fight for what remains, but the Vanguards don't have the healing. They're picked apart from all angles, and Virtus.pro get back in control.
Fine.
The crucial thing for Virtus.pro is that they
I don't know who to
the Supernova or the Dance of the Butterflies. Na'Vi brought level
yeah, that fucking sucks, bro.
What
do you call it? Playing ranked on the weekend is just, it's a gamble. It's ass.
Alone. Now they've got control of
like I went 2 wins and 6 losses yesterday. It's just bad. I think I got kicked out of the top 500 too. It's bad.
They have no choice, but instead of walking main, to wrap all the way around the back of the point, using all of the walls to provide cover from that spam damage, which means the Supernova is going to be able to clear them out.
True.
Cypher drops on in towards the back. Has to be careful of Rojaro potentially.
Yo, Desi, 61 months. Absolutely crazy. I appreciate it. It's a long time.
When it comes to the anti-air play, Jerky looks around the back. The Jeff would be a wonderful prize, and so Trust Me begins softening up that particular morsel, chewing up like a mother bird to drop into the nest. Out go the slashes from Spark.
No, Virtus.pro didn't lose. Oh. No. Virtus.pro has both supports. Almost both tanks. Na'Vi needs to get Fate's ult. If Fate doesn't get his ult,
Shark at any cost, and he can't afford to leave the point because there's no one else here to try and play it out. There might be an eat coming through as Dredro finally grabs someone within their mouth, but in a 1 versus 6, that Shark won't like wait. He's just so evasive. He's managed to get this one going for a little bit. Opens up a portal. Fincy makes it over to the point. The freedom charge.
Fate has to get his ult, bro. Fate has to get his ult stall long enough till Naga gets back, and then Naga has res.
Cuts through Jerky. Naga's still far away from that ultimate. A couple of percentage points indeed, and now that's going to be
do they get their portal though? Oh, they're here already.
Na'Vi aren't giving it up though. Fate comes back with the fate of both wards, potentially looking for the damage boost flip.
Like, Na'Vi has the ults to win this.
Well. But Spark, at the second that this Luna ult is done, is coming back with the Dance of Butterflies. It's off of the objective on the full back line.
Yeah, but Naga holds on the other side, waiting with a resurrection.
Where's Naga at? Where's Naga?
For safety to try and make it work. Rojaro warded away for Sonic Cross.
No, they're not even
on through the flesh of the Doctor. Not Gallifrey, and just
I know. I think Na'Vi actually might lose this. Yeah. Wow.
Decides not to use the resurrection. Na'Vi give this one
I feel like they had the ults to win this and they didn't.
Yeah, Na'Vi, even if they tried to use the Karmic Revival, because where everyone would be revived,
I feel like they had the ults to win this and they just didn't pop the ults.
Overtime had been burning so long, they also didn't really have anyone to be able to hold that space. on the point when they're trying to get everybody back from the res into the fight, they would have been absolutely jumped upon from all angles by an uncontested Torch and Ultron and Psylocke.
Is it worth to jump off? They're trading one support for one support, but they only have Ultron heals, and Na'Vi has Luna, Adam, more. The problem.
Now it means that Virtus Pro are
the
going
problem
to have to
with
find
not
the
jumping
eliminations
off
with ultimates
and
first to
killing
force that,
both is,
and
well,
then have
he
still
swallowed the
hold on to
Inviswoman. The
ultimates for
Inviswoman,
what
if
comes
you're
after
trying to
the
spit her off the
Comic
map, can just
Revival
jump back
cast.
on.
Cyber has the second highest damage in
If
the
you do
lobby,
it
by
fast
the
enough,
way.
you could just jump back on the map. There's a lot of characters that could just jump back on the map.
We already knew that one. It all comes down to the carousel mocks, and the party's only just started.
Fi is so close to Supernova, but Saipe is going to be able to kick things off immediately with this Rage of Ultron, which is going to force out that Soulbind very early on from Na'Vi. They either have to face tank it or give up all point presence, as Finzy's already getting into position to cut off the rotation before Na'Vi can get to point.
Oh, deciding to go first. Saipe instantly gets shut down. The Rage of Ultron is declared, and well, Magneto says, didn't ask, don't care. L plus mag cannon for Supernova, good to go, and trust me, assaults the backlines. Fatus returns to the material plane by the usage of a Karmic Revival. Jerky noted on their disengagement, flying away with the Dark Ascent to get out of the tendrils of those flame tornadoes. Drujo tunnels underground and leaves a healing pool on point critically for the remainder of their team. The Rage of Ultron damage is more than enough to slay the Shark when they dare to show their face. And level 1 Crooks pivot over to the Ultron here seems to have already been rewarded. Na'Vi don't really have as much presence on point right now due to the still present Nevix grabbing Crook out of the air, and this is what we talked about when it came to the protection of that Emma. The retakes are just so hard when you have to consider the Sonic Seduction.
Saipe as well comes back on the rocket and gets the BRB to bring back Dridro. So even though Na'Vi had Karmic Revival, Virtus Pro actually have the revives to stand toe-to-toe with the sustainability that comes from their opponents, especially up at the back of that Freedom Charge. And from it, they'll be able to out-sustain a triple strategist composition and hold on to the point themselves, all while still holding on to Dance of the Butterflies as well, which, give it a couple of moments, Saipe is going to be able to give it all of that damage boost potential. Na'Vi a little bit too stacked right now for Sparky to go for the commitment. Ensong Inferno is going to try and push out the Solid's position and immediately force the fate of both worlds. But Naga was split, the LOS was broken, and the Atom goes down.
Drujo tunnels under the earth, ready to go with... Oh, Drajaro's looking for it from downtown. A crushing defeat there for Dridro. But guess what? With the Ensong Inferno already forced, the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier is free. Na'Vi don't really have the damage here to try and move on through it, and so Virtus Pro could just use the damage boost to pick apart their enemies. Fate is on an off angle that cannot be rescued, and so the stagger comes their way.
Yeah, Jerky already burned the Ensong Inferno to force the fate of both worlds coming on for.
Sorry.
And now Virtus Pro are going to be holding
Jay3,
on to
I broke my
still
hand. Can you goon for me? What the fuck? You know what?
80%
I'm glad you broke your
Supernova.
hand,
Now
bro.
they're
I'll
gonna
break
have to
the
figure
other
out
one.
What exactly they're going to do. Level 1 Crook does have Rage of Ultron to get them onto that fight. Rajara is going to go over to the Amma off of that Magneto, trying to play the rush down instead.
Am I playing BF6 on the 10th?
Quite the tricky customer with the diamond form available for
on the
Skin
new
Out to
season of
potentially
Marvel
keep their
Rivals? I
distance.
have no
And Aegis
idea,
shield used
man.
to protect the Sentients in towards the back. Naga needs help, but it's not going to be coming. The Vibranium Energy Source all that arrives when he cries for aid. Fire around the back.
Wait, he popped his ult
very
and...
low HP, and so he just decides to leave. He's had enough of this one. Relies on the
Wait, he
remainder of
popped his
Virtus
ult
Pro
and
to
did
get the
nothing with
cleanup
it.
that they were looking for, and indeed, the cleaning crews arrived, mop in hand and broom in the other, and they're sweeping through Na'Vi. And make a mad attempt to dash for the point, but the Rage of Ultron can't get there. The damage is too great, and Virtus Pro's adaptation over onto Rocket Raccoon is swiftly rewarded.
Wow, bro. See, it's the curse. It's the curse. Whoever wins the first point of King of the Hill loses the next two. It's the curse, bro.
So if the Torch and Ultron start popping on off, Jerky
It's
can't
literally the
swap over to
curse.
the Psylocke and start melting them. That composition relies so heavily on that Torch being able to create so much pressure with the spam angles, and then as well you apply on top of it a Captain America and a Psylocke, which means that Na'Vi, they're really spoiled for choice in terms of which targets they can actually go for.
Damn, man.
Rajaro goes over to the Emma, does mean that he's going to be able to have more pressure onto things like the Captain America, but also means that the second that the Emma has moved on to the objective itself, that backline and the Atom is left incredibly
I don't know how Virtus Pro did so well with
Virtus Pro just have so much burst
a
damage
Jeff
that they can still find
and
the
a
picks even through all of the triple strategist triage.
Yeah, another thing with the Starlight Band.
Yeah,
really
see, those characters have no, they can't get back on the map, so you spit them out. Dude, yeah, they have no defensible. It's like Saipei and a fish.
Or a Phoenix.
I can't believe
who
that.
Doesn't really want to use their Dark Ascent from ability chasing a Psylocke, given that they're going to be using that up close and personal against their Psylocke for things like melee cancels, for maximum DPS. And that kind of put Jerky in a bit of a bind where they had to look towards the back line. And while Saipei did catch a lot of that aggro, it gave room and time to Sparker.
Jigoro as well, coming on through on the Jeff the Landshark, being able to put so much pressure onto the Adam. A lot of these teams, we saw in week 1 that Adam actually on Domination had a 73% win rate on this map type. But now that there's been a little bit of time for the teams to adapt into just how telegraphed Adam is and how you have to sort of play around your cooldowns because of your lack of mobility. Soulbind, incredibly easy to force off of just that first initial little bit of pressure sent his way if he doesn't have that immediate peel. And then also, if you know he's close to the Comic Revival cast and you manage to take him down before that comes up, you force his hand into using the self-cocoon, which then means that a little bit of attention sent his way afterwards, that elimination is going to be able to stick and Comic Revival is denied entirely. Plus, for a dive composition, you're looking for isolated targets. Adam, when he sets up his res, is already isolated because he doesn't want to use his res in the middle of a team fight on the objective itself. He really paints a very easy to pick up target on his back.
Well, the easy targets, they're going to start becoming thin on the ground as Na'Vi have time to adapt and pick their own map for map number 2 after this break.
Right after this break. I always miss your events. We're gonna have some this week coming up, I'm pretty sure, because the tournament's been taking a lot of the time. Yo, what's up, LSU? Have you do you have the bracket? Yes, exclamation mark tournament, and you will be able to see the EMEA and the NA bracket. Yes. Did you enjoy going to sleep longer? Oh my god, I feel so good today. I went to bed last night. I think it was like 1. And I didn't wake up until like 11:20. I had like 10, 11 hours of sleep. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Oh, I am so happy. NA starts at 7 o'clock. Are you East Coast or West Coast? I am East Coast. I live in Miami. I just forgot what I was gonna say. Damn. Did you sleep 15 hours like you wanted? I wish 15. I was still tired actually when I woke up. It's a nice change after, you know, waking up or going to sleep for only like 5-6 hours and then doing 15-hour watch parties. But they've been fun, bro. Usually I get tired mentally, but then like towards the last night, I don't know if you guys were here last night, but last night those games actually hyped me up. Hello. Ooh.
Is that enough?
Yeah.
Is that awesome?
Oh, I'll take that. All every day. Okay, you look good. What? I like that shirt. And those shorts. And those socks. Thank you. Yeah, dude, that Dark Zero versus Sentinels games, like I like Sentinels and I like Dark Zero, but like Dark Zero winning and then the shit talking, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cinema. If you guys missed last night's games, you definitely got to go back in the bot and watch them. Damn. Damn. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Fox has a Rema Frost Fit on. It looks like VP have ice in their veins. They are ready to once again go up against Citadel Gaming
chat.
in the finals.
Emily made breakfast, so I'm going to eat some breakfast.
Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of adjustments coming on through in that ban phase now. Because, like, VP, they worked out that draft. With that composition, you either win with the Human Torch or you lose with the Human Torch. All of the resources, all of your fight planning, it's all on Torch. So it actually makes sense. It's viable for them to burn every single one of their bans on a Torch counter, especially because they took out everything that could have synergized with the Venom. The Psylocke removed, the Jeff removed, even the Star-Lord removed, which meant that everyone from Na'Vi for a dive was left with just a Phoenix, and Phoenix doesn't actually dive. She off-angles, or she can play from main, but that means that she needs space. She's not going to be there with the Venom, and that's exactly what Virtus.pro removed from Na'Vi. They had full control of every single angle, every single POV was covered. They always could rotate and scout out where they would be coming from. So
I watched your Sentinels versus 100 Thieves match,
and it meant as well that the fight
Terra's
just
ego
didn't
is
go
something
long
else.
enough
I mean,
for Adam to be able to win it with Karmic Revival casts.
Yeah, the Karmic Revival
mean,
only ends up getting value,
I think
it seems
he's
like once,
if
maybe
not the
twice.
best,
We saw,
probably one of the best
on the
DPS
first map
players
of
to play this
Cradle,
game.
getting
So,
back
I mean,
two strategists and a
you
third.
can have an ego.
He was resurrected as well. On that, it's going to be interesting path for choice here for Na'Vi, one of Virtus.pro's old favorites.
Yeah, well, on Convoy, you can't go anywhere, especially if, like, Virtus.pro finds so much success with the Torch. You have to avoid Araco.
Yeah, that's true.
Araco, Torch, and Ultron, that's one of their favorite maps to play, especially on first, to be able to break those spawn holds. And it is all going to be about spawn hold break right now. And that's why we're seeing Emma getting prioritized as a ban. Not Jeff, not Mantis. Emma is going to be removed from both of these teams so that you can't use things like Carbon Crush when your other side gets aggressive with a triple Vanguard composition and tries to stall for as long as they possibly can. But that does now mean that Na'Vi can once again save the Mantis for the 12% damage boost so that they might have more burst potential against Virtus.pro's triple strategist, triple Vanguard holds.
Once again, Fate's patented Jeff is going to be taken off the table. And yeah, Mantis allowing the double damage boost alongside the Storm could be critical here. One-sided Jeff. This might actually force out a Storm ban from the other side, but first it's going to be symbiotic shenanigans, and we're going to start thinking about how Star-Lord factors into this. Not quite as important against the triple strategist, triple Vanguard holds we see.
Damn,
but
Virtus.pro's
banning
banning the Jeff and saving the Jeff again.
You can draft for the beginning or you can draft for the end of the map.
Yeah. Beginning is just 1/3.
Yo.
The second and third are 2/3. Mathematically, you do find more value, especially because we haven't really seen as many full holds in the second half of Stage 2 as we have
I'm
the
doing
first. A lot of these
fantastic.
teams have figured out very, very quickly. Having things like the Mantis, the Storm, the Moon Knight, the Groot, which is why we're actually seeing the Groot getting removed, not only to isolate out some of those Vanguards so that you can cut off the LOS from that backline, but also to make sure that if Moon Knight does make it in, that we don't see the Strangling Prison combined with that Hand of Khonshu to be able to just deal enough damage to break through any strategist ultimate that's fielded. As Human Torch is now going to be removed from Virtus.pro, which I'm honestly a big fan of, because you don't have enough bans having gone for the targets on the Vanguards to have to target things that the Human Torch are enabled by. The Ultron, the Invis, the Luna, all of those would have been able to pass through. It's better to just cut it off by the root and remove the Torch itself.
Okay, you don't want to have an unmirrored Torch going in with an Ultron
whoa,
and potentially a damage boost, so it's going to be removed away from both sides. This will allow for the Psylocke to go untouched for now, but I imagine it's not going to be a factor in the early game.
Yeah, Star-Lord, though, is able to slip through for both of these teams, but like you said, Na'Vi is going to be able to have access to that Ultron as well as that Mantis one-sided damage boost, so we can already see Naga on that Star-Lord. I don't think it's going to be staying around, although we have seen a couple of teams actually try and break the triple strategist, triple Vanguard, but instead of just going for a brute force roll on main where you literally just try and out-damage all of the sustainability and health pools
true,
triple Vanguard and triple strategist composition allow for, you just flank to the side, given the fact that the attacker's spawn actually has a doorway that opens up onto that left side and allows you to pop up behind the defenders upon that ramp, which is one of the reasons we've actually started to see the Rocket Raccoons moving their BRB stations. So
tournament bans are a little
inside
different.
That miniature door on the
Tournament
left
bans
side
are
of
you're
where the
banning for
defenders
the
are
other
currently
team.
holed up on.
and then you're
Yeah,
saving for
Cypher
your
loves
team.
to play in here with the invisible woman. Gives
So
great
when you see
sightlines
Jeff
onto
banned
all
and
three
saved, that
Vanguards
means
to
the
have
other
that
team cannot
clean
play
yield,
Jeff, and you're saving
which is
Jeff
one
for
of
your
the
team so the
signatures
other team
of
cannot
the
ban him.
invisible woman. Let's have a look at
That's
the
basically how it works.
Yeah.
Navix, though, on that thing is going to be absolutely unmovable, rock solid. The same cannot be said for the rocket, though. Na'Vi have the goggles on against the Raccoon so that they can remove him and the BRB in one fell swoop.
Look towards the back, frenzied arrival into the small room. This is where the thing is at their most dangerous, but the Venom equally deadly as they are the deadly protector. Cypher resurrected by the BRB. The battle recall has been used, and Fate finds himself just having to chip down this Magneto.
The bans are like this so they can force like non-mirror matchups. It's pretty cool. I like it because I think it's really boring if you're seeing the same two teams run the same heroes over and over. This is interesting.
Dritter had the linear heal coming on through from that small room onto everyone who was being jumped upon by the dive, but also for Magneto, who was on the main and receiving all of that sustain from the joyful splash. And off of that, Dritter's actually 90% to the first ultimate.
A lucky stab, not really conversing to anything though, trust me. Inside the Yancy charge, can't swing away, but finally gets back to freedom. And Na'Vi building up towards a critical mass of ults.
Yeah, Na'Vi do have that Age of Ultron coming on through, but Virtus Pro,
Overwatch Goats era needed that. Well, to be honest with you, Overwatch Goats were a little fun, but there was no bans back then.
Instead, looking for the high ground drop down so they can take a little bit more angles. However, Virtus Pro have fortified their position inside room, and it's going to have to be a very well coordinated dive. Out comes the Yancy 3 charge from Nevix that no one from Na'Vi can move off of all of that damage coming on through, forcing Dritter into using the It's Jeff just to reposition too.
Yeah, lays down the healing pool for the remainder of the team as well. Prioritizes you in the joyful splash coming up close to Cyber.
Oh, poor trust me, bro. Virtus Pro.
He's got no more options. What a play from Cypher, slowing down all of the
Virtus Pro has a really good fucking full hold strat here. They already wasted 2 minutes.
Not to fire into the Meteor M. It's sent sailing into the back lines in a narrow corridor, but Cypher is going to be the main victim of this one. Fire can't get back inside. There's no resurrection on the table. Nevix, I think, is probably going to be swapping
Destroyer for 26 months. I appreciate it.
Usage of the clobbering time in the 2 versus 6 scenario.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a good, bro. They wasted.
And Fi, yeah, he's going to just jump up into a little bit of a harder position for Na'Vi to be able to try and cancel him out of it, and then look for a TP right into the back. Gets that
down. He forgot to bring the TP down.
He forgot to bring the TP down. Oh
my! I was about to say he didn't reposition it, bro. He just used it. They fucked up their. Oh my god! That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Oh, that's when the pressure really starts to get to you.
Oh no, bro!
Of course, Fi's not really a Doctor Strange player. Short interruption there.
Hey, Lumiere! Appreciate the massive 15 months. How you doing? How you doing?
Again, redeemed.
Body block.
And Destroyer, appreciate the massive 26 months. Snapshot for 4 months. Appreciate it.
These small hitboxes really do flourish against the element.
And by the way, a Drizzy, appreciate the massive prime. I think I said that. Yeah.
Put themselves on business, on the point, just standing strong in the way. Angela's so easy to get away from.
Bro, chat. Usually you get three engagements on first point with the comp that they're running, but they kind of fucked it up, man. But still a good hold. Na'Vi only has 30 seconds.
No way to take him down instantly. It gives over a tiny bit of additional HP before Rajaro just slays all of them. In comes the clobbering time, and the stuns are good to try and allow.
Oh, the best melee character in the game. Nice.
The prime melee DPS has arrived in the form of Jerky. 2 players maybe off the side. It's a good resurrection there, bringing themselves back. Trust me, from the side. Cypher with a force physics.
There is no way.
From his body. 3 seconds remain, and Na'Vi
they fucked up their portal and still came back and held that. No, bro, Na'Vi, man.
It's the Jeff shenanigans. Oh my goodness, the E coming on through. Like you said, it's not just the Endsong Inferno getting used before the Rocket Cosmic Yarn Amplifier. It's the Endsong Inferno getting used before it's Jeff, which means that Dritter is able to come through and get
the C9 is definitely more embarrassing.
Doesn't manage to convert onto Trust Me, who's on the Venom and is able to swing off the back of it. But still, Na'Vi lose.
Can you imagine what the voice comms might have been? Okay, guys, I'm teleporting. Oh shit, I fucked up my teleporter. Oh shit. Oh, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. We still got it. Oh, fuck me, man.
A couple of well-placed
Dude.
body blocks as well from Nevix on that thing, and it means
Oh
that Na'Vi
my
don't get the
God.
opportunity to have their Venom
If
on
I
the
did that in a
objective
tournament,
over
I
top
would
with
feel
it.
so
Interesting
embarrassed.
combo as well, using the claw brain time to stun people, so they had no chance of escaping.
Because
the
you
clutches
know
of
there's a
Jeff.
lot of people watching
I
this
imagine that's how
game.
we saw
Like, you
Trust Me on a
know,
hyper-mobile
you have the
character getting
broadcast,
killed by
you have,
that, but
oh shit.
honestly, this has been a lights-out game.
Yeah, that
from
was
Saipe on the Invisible Woman. Managing to shut down the first dive coming through from Trust Me, using that invisible boundary, and then catching him on the swing out with the force physics, and then taking out Naga during that backline assault as well. They had no means of mitigating that Galactic Legend apart from pure violence.
I mean, Virtus Pro's rotations too into all of those different small rooms when they saw that Na'Vi were on hyper mobile compositions with things like the
Do people run
wanting
Goat
to
Cop
be
on
able to
ladder?
play off of
Oh,
dives coming
very
over from that
rarely.
Venom
Very,
as well.
very,
Avoided
very
so
rarely.
much pressure. Now Nevix is going to be on the Angela themselves, already clearing out Trust Me on the Captain America, but Na'Vi do have a backup plan in the form of the Adam Warlock, who has both the Soulbone for the first fight in case they need to start sharing out that damage when the off-angle rotation comes on through.
All right, already a lot of space given away here to the side of Virtus Pro. Na'Vi want a bend, but don't break defense rather than holding at the spawn doors.
That was already Soulbind though. Dive came on through, but it was a soft dive. Just pressure from Sparker and Fi teasing that they would go for the commitment, which means the Soulbind's not there. Self-res has already been forced from Naga because Na'Vi just don't have the opportunity to give up all this ground.
Oh, this backline's just being torn through right now, but Saipe traded back from Trust Me, and that's a good pick because it means that BRB is going to be down as well. Look at this positioning here from Jerky, doing their best to just try and stand, but Nevix has fallen heaven on top of them, and the powers of Virtus Pro combined are going to get a lot of push.
Nevix is going to start rotating too, figuring out whether or not
I think Virtus Pro's gonna win this, bro. I need my boys on Na'Vi to step it up, man.
And indeed, there's Trust Me, and there goes Trust Me.
Oh, it's not going to take long to get back unless he's got that full sprint.
Yeah, but Na'Vi do not have a great amount of ultimate economy. They're going to be relying on this
How you doing,
to
Fnatic?
open things up. The Angel's already behind them. The Assassin's Lunge brings two of them out from Chuck into the It's Jeff, which means that both the Luna and the Angela get displaced.
Good focus onto Jay3. Now it's time for the dance of the butterflies. Level 1 Crook to heal on through it, but could not heal themselves, utilizing the Rage of Ultron.
That's GG's.
Naga, no chance to resurrect. Na'Vi, no chance to heal. It's down to Trust Me dancing on the point, and while it's an amusing sideshow, it's not going to be impressing the judges. They hold up no 10s, they only hold up L's as Virtus Pro take away one of their comfort maps that Na'Vi decided to bring us to.
I need to know why did Na'Vi take them to that map?
Incredibly strong, relying on
Maybe they thought
what worked for this team.
Maybe they thought they knew how to counter them.
Fi on the Star-Lord. That's something that we've seen all year round, but Dritter really impressed me on the Jeff.
No,
goes down
it doesn't make any sense to get it out of rotation. You want to take them to a because it's a best of first one to 3. You're already down 1-0. You don't want to take them to their best map so they can win, and then there's 2-0. Now you're on game point. It's bad for you.
Sustainability for the triple Vanguard line.
A huge amount of it. Na'Vi unable to really match when it came to that healing output, but of course a lot of their time spent defending.
I mean, I think Virtus Pro is still really good on like all the maps as well, like Midtown for an example. They have the triple res, not triple res, triple tank, triple healer comp.
One of the best invis performances I've seen in a while.
And in here too, you can actually see Dridro pathing not just for the environmental, but also closer to Saipe, so that if they get pressured by Na'Vi trying to break the It's Jab, Guardian Shield's going to be in play, and that Jab's going to get healed. This moment as well, it is literally just a rock or a hard place. There's no way that Na'Vi are going to be able to find the turnaround. If they try and leave the Dance of the Butterflies to go to the objective, everyone who's left behind is going to get eliminated. If they try and stay inside the Dance of the Butterflies, that objective is rolling forward entirely uncontested, and the round is going to finish. Really good plays coming on through from Virtus Pro to just push Na'Vi into those difficult, really decisions that they could never really win against.
Yeah, forcing only bad decisions, but you can make good decisions in the Marvel Rivals store right now because the Grim Lady is available, Mox. If you want to roll through the enemy team in style, throwing piercing thorns left and right and money to all who decide to come and look for it, Hella's Grim Lady is here with all the swagger and power that Hella's known for.
And I mean, Hela is going to be known for a couple more bits of power, I feel, when we move into Season 4.5, given the fact that that team up with Namor is looking pretty nasty, especially for free compositions to try and keep a hold of, given the fact that it's going to be playing anti-heal as well. So maybe
No, this is not a best
when
of
you
7.
want
I
to
think the
look
next
for a way
match
to
is going to be a
break
best
some
of
of
7.
those convoy strangleholds, your ranked games, Hela and Namor are viable options, and you definitely don't want to miss that costume because
Also,
of that.
that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Oh,
Gongon
you know why they probably don't mention the newest Emma skin? Because I think they have an ad for it anyways. But they don't have an ad for... No, they think they do. Like right here. Oh, now see, like, there you go. There's the Hela skin. I'm pretty sure they... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, chat. Listen, I'm just gonna eat my breakfast.
I want your soul. Hell unleashed!
Looks like my teammates ain't been ranked. GG's. What you eating? I'm gonna fast today because I've been eating too much junk food while watching this tournament, but we're only gonna eat 1 meal a day today. We are eating Emily made pork with eggs and your guy's favorite, which is not really mine, pasta. Jay, what's your shirt? Oh, this is a Bape shirt. Bathing Ape. One meal a day is fasting. That's just me being broke. Well, I should say not. I shouldn't say fasting. I shouldn't say I'm not eating junk food then. I gotta watch my figure, chat. Oh, whoa. What's my YouTube saying about... Yo, Trust Me is a fucking goated tank player. What do you... I do want that popcorn, bro. Citadel versus Virtus Pro. If this one will happen, who do you think is going to win? I think Citadel. Citadel Gaming is a really fucking good team. I think they're probably going to be the... Yeah, they're probably going to be the best team here. Because if I'm not mistaken, didn't Virtus Pro get... Here, hold on. Let me see this. Tournament. That was actually a really great matchup. I would love to see a repeat of that. Citadel Gaming against Virtus Pro. I think Virtus Pro almost came back and won that.
What's looking like a reversal of what...
Yeah, they almost reverse swept that. That was a good series.
We saw some pretty interesting back and forth between these teams, but it was never quite as dominant as we saw on Idris or Path.
Wasn't even close. Pokey, bro, I saw your fucking tweet about you just eating a big ass pizza while watching the game, bro.
Regardless of where we end up, Central Park, dominant flyer map. Not the greatest opportunity when Virtus Pro have been showing that much prowess on both the Human Torch and the Star-Lord. You look at Hall of Djalia, maybe, like you said in between the break, trying to invoke a trauma response.
That was actually really funny.
The last time Na'Vi took Virtus Pro there, they lost 2-1 off of, again, Star-Lord shenanigans. And that leaves Symbiotic Surface, but Symbiotic Surface is prime real estate for things like the Psylocke and that Venom coming on through. So yeah. I think regardless of where you go, ban drafts are going to have to change. If you're Na'Vi, you have to start removing these pieces of power that Virtus.pro have been able to find.
I ordered it when it was 2-0.
This
Oh, you must have
level in
been.
EMEA, it might be like we're looking for like angles.
That must have been good to eat while that comeback was happening.
These teams are so good that there's not going to be a map where like, oh yeah, Na'Vi go there and they win. Like, we're just at the point now where all of these teams can play every map. They don't have any real weaknesses, but there are just slight advantages that can be gained. And we don't really know what's available for Na'Vi here in terms of those weaknesses. The perma-banning of the Jeff seems to have somewhat hamstrung them, but also for leaning into the Mantis when it comes to a Protect, it feels like Na'Vi have constantly been on the back foot and forced off of the Mantis.
Yeah, so one of the problems that Mantis has when she uses her ultimate is that she doesn't get CC immunity.
True.
So she's very easy to shut down with things like the It's Jeff, where you can literally just carry her out of her team's AoE radius for the Soul Resurgence to not apply onto them. Plus, even if you have things like
I can't tell if he's happy, sad, or constipated, or serious.
To apply those
Guys, leave leg day alone, bro.
What Virtus.pro have been able to do for both map 1 and map 2 is displace Na'Vi, cut the line of sight between the Mantis and her duelists, so she doesn't get to apply those as frequently.
Okay, a big priority
Chat,
given here.
Leg Day is a fucking great caster. Stop it.
Star-Lord. That's because
If you guys are going to disrespect someone, disrespect me.
With an Ultron and potentially with a Human Torch.
Yeah, that Star-Lord save is going to be absolutely huge. It does mean that they're vulnerable to the Mantis ban and potentially the one-sided Mantis save coming on through here for Virtus.pro too, but they have shown that they prefer having the one-sided.
I fell asleep during their NB versus Rad fight. Who won? NB. That wasn't.
It's Jeff might not
you didn't miss
all
much,
that
bro.
sustainability when it comes to the 100.
That was a 3-0. It was.
Being able to
it was not a good watch. It was not a
displace
good watch.
Players from Na'Vi, especially if they're close.
Now,
to
if you missed the
ultimates,
other game,
means that you can
the
let
Dark
things
Zero
like the
against
Adam Warlock through,
Sentinels,
despite normally needing
you
to
gotta go
prioritize
watch
it
that
as a
one.
ban.
That was
and
a
it also
good
forces out
fucking
Venom
game.
counter ban as well, because you don't want symbiotic
Zaya
shenanigans to
Fate,
be up.
I appreciate the
And now
massive
Virtus.pro have a
Prime
pretty
sub.
free
Welcome,
protect
welcome.
here to
I'm tier
potentially
one
have
sub,
a
sorry.
one-sided Mant, the one-sided Luna if they want to try and pivot that in.
No, I'm
But
not a good
remember
caster,
their
chat.
protect
I'm not a good
here
caster.
is going to be answered with a ban and protect for Na'Vi before Virtus.pro's final ban comes through.
Captain America is going to be coming through from Virtus.pro, which means that, they're going to be able to off-angle dive with the Captain America and the Jeff to, again, just permanently force Navi's position to have to pivot. Even if the Star-Lord's been saved, if he doesn't get the resources from the rest of his team...
They subbed out Sparker? I didn't know you could sub out players. Yeah, you can...
something like
they subbed in
Invis
Sparker.
woman is constantly having to look at the dive coming her way. Na'Vi going to try
Sparker didn't play that
and
Sparker? I didn't even notice.
any
But
other
yeah,
components
usually
of that
teams have
dive
like 7
that
players.
Virtus.pro could be able to afford. Giving a Captain America idle aura and a Jeff would make him pretty invulnerable to all forms of damage, as we can see that they've been able to take one-sided Luna to have that idle aura attached to their Star-Lord when it comes down to the 1v1s in the duels.
Question is, do Virtus.pro want to remove something like a Psylocke here, potentially a...
Invis, maybe.
Yep, get rid of Invis. Don't want the Ultron. Okay, they don't want the drone on the Star-Lord as well as the Idol Aura. They'll settle for just one of them.
That and also Rage of Ultron can be pretty annoying, especially if you play like a Star-Lord yourself to come on through and they've got Rage of Ultron to make sure that you can try and come on out with the better. But going for that Ultron one-sided for Na'Vi could mean that Sparker gets a target on the Psylocke. So I do like the fact that Na'Vi aren't actually going to be going.
Wait, no, they didn't sub anyone else.
Crisis is actually in pure mode. He's been subbed in, and we're going to get to see him come through with that Winter Soldier to be able to put pressure onto both the Captain America that got saved as a priority, but also the Psylocke, which is now going to be looking to put pressure themselves on the flows.
All right, Hall of Jalia.
No.
This could be where Na'Vi face elimination from our bracket.
No, Na'Vi. Na'Vi. Okay, because I was about to say.
But going through in the last
Na'Vi
team, potentially being forced to play on day one and against multiple teams.
They have 7 players. They have 3 duelist players. So they have Naga, they have Jerky, and they also have Crisis.
They're going to be starting on the
Crisis
attack too,
is, I think, they're like Bucky player. He was fucking disgusting when he got put in.
Be in position to just leap upon the backline, as you can see them.
Oh, look at that, chat. Crisis is on. Yeah, because I was about to say, Virtus.pro, no. Virtus.pro has 6 players. Na'Vi has 7. Usually, a lot of teams have 7 players.
For the 2-2-2 composition to have the Guardian Shield stagger onto the Star-Lord as well.
All right. Crisis is in, actually. Interesting. So Winter Soldier going to be a big factor here. This could actually mess with Nevix's disengagements as well. When it comes to this whole Crisis noted, exiled. The execution isn't quite there afterwards. Fincy with a quick disengagement. And Sparker just working these margins, making sure there's no safe space from which Naga can operate and has to play a lot more centrally to the remainder of the team. Have that kind of mono angle coming through from the side of Na'Vi, but the mono angle, the spear, it just means that all of its pressure is put into a single point, and the armor of Virtus Pro can't quite sustain it. Dredro taken down, but Spark was brought back previously by the BRB. They're all going to have to share out the healing of a lone Cyber for now, and it's not quite enough as the Raccoon is sent scurrying elsewhere.
Virtus Pro are going to go, though, for a teleport play. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it in time. Someone's got to tag onto the point, and no. Finzy goes down almost immediately before that portal can come on through. And now Virtus Pro are going to be split. They lose their Psylocke late. They lose their Starlord even later. And Na'Vi get free roam of second to set up a dive and buy themselves even more objective space.
Na'Vi reinvigorated, bringing in a new member from their roster in the form
I was just
of
talking with
Crisis,
Emily,
really
and for like a second to tell her thank you for breakfast, and
it's only going to get more dangerous.
Na'Vi already
the Kraken Impact's good to go.
But what's the target going to be?
What the fuck?
Pro's players are so mobile, and Crisis is immediately targeted down before Na'Vi can use that as a win condition. Out comes the Feast of the Abyss looking for any trade. Spark of the win condition for
Oh, just me. Come on, man.
Has also been removed, which means that level 1 Crook thinks it's winnable. Out comes the fate of both worlds, and there too is the damage boost from that Galactic Legend.
Damn, there you go, chat.
On the mag, by the way.
Na'Vi looks like they woke the fuck up, bro.
Iron volleys left, right, and center. The mag cannon is converting, and the old reliable has returned.
Sparker's just waiting for his moment, though.
This is how they should have been looking like the whole series.
The backlane's a little bit split too. They know that
now if they cap this in the next fight, that would be phenomenal.
As they would like, policing Virtus Pro's respawns, which means that VP get an opportunity to contest.
All right, Sparker with the dance for butterflies can't isolate one target inside the invisible boundary. The healing is total anyway. Crisis waiting for the fight to break down. So Kraken Impact's good to go. Notices fire on the disengagement, and the Trooper's Fist immobilizes them. So there's no chance for the disengage aided. But oh, in comes the Kraken's Impact. It missed Redro. The Culling Order hasn't been given over, and so now
he's alive. No way.
Off the back of it, Redro just manages to get back to the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier.
Wait, Fate's alive. Where the hell's Fate at?
At least gets it done with Grotza Stern, but now Fire has little to worry about. Up in the air, Rajara starts to build up the energy on this Meteor M. Not quite the connection they were looking for, but Naga finds it via the element guns, and Rajara is back to a tried and true iron volley damage rolling on through. They're not going to prioritize getting rid of Nevix for now, who's just able to bring out the Unbreakable Guard and keep this point contested. There's a little bit of additional pressure on the back line, so Bruce Banner won't last long against all this either, and Virtus Pro should be ejected from the
4.5 minutes, chat, for the last phase.
For another cap.
Yeah, Tridor was able to find the eat onto Fate, but the elimination didn't actually come through onto the Invis because Fate had the double jump and went invisible. And Virtus Pro couldn't figure out where the Invis had gone, which meant that Na'Vi didn't actually lose the players, which would have forced them to fully disengage and allow Virtus Pro to hold on to that space and tax the return.
Yo.
Now Na'Vi as well get to hold on to the ultimates.
You're telling me teams need Bucky players?
For either the Winter Soldier
I should get picked up on a bench, chat. I'll be a bench player.
Virtus Pro swapped their composition.
Bro, I'd ride the shit out of that bench. And if you need a Bucky, throw me in, bro.
And Na'Vi find 2 weak targets off the back of it.
2-for-1 trade though, make it 3-for-1 as Nevix is overwhelmed. Sparker frozen in the back. Level 1 Cook's just nasty with him, Mox.
Crisis is going to have the Kraken Impacts to yet again counteract that it's Jeff coming on through from Dreadrow. Trust me too. Going to be on that wall looking to drop down and put pressure onto Virtus Pro's players.
Bro.
Split the team so that they can't go for a
Virtus Pro needs to pick me up.
Objective to stall it.
I could be like Pokey for Citadel, but Jay3 for Virtus Pro.
Elsewhere as it's Jeff speculative in the back, might need to split their own members onto a point. There's only 35 centimeters remaining, and Virtus Pro, from absolute dominance on Yggdrasil path, absolutely get themselves demolished on Hall of Jalia.
I mean, I think the secret for Na'Vi is just saving the Star-Lord.
Yeah.
Venom was surviving in the first couple of rounds that we saw them. The problem was the severe lack of follow-up.
What was
This
their
time
bans?
around, though,
Navi's
there's
red.
no such
They banned.
issue. I mean, trust me, going in
They
as
banned
well, all
Luna.
the way
They
to
banned
VP
Venom. They banned.
Spawn
Ooh, those are
to
some
put
good bans
pressure
actually.
onto
Damn.
the Invis woman, which means that either the team has to turn around, give up frontline presence on the objective, and peel,
Damn.
or Invis boundary comes up, but it's off of the objective on their own spawn point, which gives a free green light for Galactic Legend coming in through from Naga. You really can tell that Na'Vi went into this game
I
with
still
a
think
game
this map-
plan, and it is working out for them.
I still
That
think this
save
is
on the
pretty
Star-Lord, the Luna
close.
to
I
empower
think
it
Virtus
more
Pro can
has
still
been working
cap.
it like a charm.
Oh, Finzi 0 and 6. Come on, Vinzi.
2-2 has been big for them as well. Being
Oh my
able to
goodness,
just
Harry.
light this
I
much
you know,
damage.
as much as I
Look at
do
the
love
casualties.
Navi because they, you know, we duo with Fate and they're a really good team. They won last, you know, mid-season finals.
0-6 for Finzi.
I do like Virtus
Bit of a
Pro
stinker
because
here, but I feel
not
like
only
Rashad
do
was
like
able to do so much
Virtus
impact
Pro like
on this
shows
magnitude,
me
being able to
that
just
anyone over the age of
away
43
Virtus
can play
Pro
this game
and show you
still at a very high level. So
really
it's
has
pretty
been a
good.
boon for Na'Vi.
Someone went
Pretty
for the
good, it's
penny
pretty good.
mines. I already see someone on the side of Na'Vi down to 50% health, but that's just going to generate into free ultimate charge for level 1 Crookers. Yeah, trust me, he's known for this at this point. He locks the Spider-Man and tries to find a cheeky grab off of the map onto one of the attacker teams as they come through from spawn.
That's the 4th time they visited the spawn room. That's a kicking. Sparker gonna be mirroring the Winter Soldier now. Remembers the good old days for dominance of Virtus Pro.
previous
The
champs are
invitation that
Na'Vi.
was off the back of Sparker with that Winter Soldier. Iron Bulwark given on through. Just one use for Trooper's Fist to lift themselves up onto that high ground, knowing that it's not quite as sustainable as they would like. Fire's already been taken down. It's Fate who finds that one with the Force Physics. And trust me, is more than happy to clean up the mess that Fate left in their wake. Rotter Stern's explosive bullets will carve through many. And Na'Vi rebuff the first assault without issue.
Yeah, Virtus Pro tried to bully their way onto point from main rather than wrapping around the side lanes, which meant that Na'Vi had all of the angles. Wait for Virtus Pro to put their feet onto point and try and build Dridro's Eternal Bond up faster than Na'Vi's ultimate bank and just send, trust me, directly into the back line. Sparker has to turn around and pivot looking to peel, which means that level 1 Quick finds a huge freeze and opens the floodgates for
Holy
Na'Vi
shit.
to converge on all of their targets. Fi this time though moves
She's a
over
good
to the
caster.
Human
She
Torch.
actually
You
just
can't
broke that
dive
whole
him,
fucking
but
fight
now it
down.
falls to the Star-Lord
That
to
was-
have to match wits
That
in the
was
sky.
good.
Okay, rolling through high ground, I much prefer. You've got to take this space away from Trust Me and Naga. And Trust Me just constantly being this annoying factor. Vi looking from the back, really wants to get onto level 1 Croak, but Rajara's already taken out Finzi.
Vicky does NA.
Someone's
That was,
gonna fall through
Moxie.
the cracks when you try and work these angles, because your resources get divvied up elsewhere, Trust Me. Going to be using that symbiotic resilience to try and disengage, but it's straight back into Virtus Pro. Nevix is there waiting. The healing should be good as Na'Vi have plenty of ultimates to try and get through this one. In comes the Eternal Bond first.
Oh, the hook!
Strangling prison. It means they get to carve through Fate fairly easily. Finzi opens up a portal for any reinforcements to get back. Toot sweet here.
There's
Inside
no
the
way
invisible
that
boundary.
Crisis.
Things
You're
start to
probably
get
playing
complicated.
against a
The
different
Legion are
Crisis,
down
bro.
upon Dream,
I'm pretty
trying to
sure if
perfect
there was a
catch
pro
for
player
Rajaro.
who was
The right
slurring
click,
in a
not
game,
coming.
that would be-
And now from the back, it seems like there's been an isolation.
That would be
of Saipe. People
like
can
number
move
1
through the
news, and they would
portal,
actually
yes,
get
but
kicked
they're
off
not
a
in
team.
range of Saipe's
There's no
heals.
way.
So Sparker's going to go over to the Wolverine, which means that he's going to be able to counter grab Trust Me when he tries to come on through from those dives.
There's no way,
worry
bro.
Is Fi has Supernova, yes. But Nevix used Strangling Prison. You don't have anything to force Na'Vi to stack into the damage coming on through from those tornadoes. Plus, the second you use that Supernova, Naga's going to be going for the Galactic Legend. Spark is going to now move on to that Ultron Dridro the Rocket because they know that they're going to lose someone on the sentry, likely the Human Torch, as he pops that armor and just tries to dive the backline to look for a trade.
17 more billion swaps, but you know that Naga's going to shut this one down instantly before
Oh.
Naga can even hit a bullet from the element gun. Crisis has already been so clean with Rotter Stern accuracy. Bro, it's an absolute
shoot the guy right there.
prodigious generational Winter Soldier. Trust me, once again, finds the soft, exposed underbelly and
Lots of
digs in
league
these
pros are
talons.
toxic and throw
Yeah,
slurs
that
in matches.
Galactic
Nobody talks about
Legend.
that. Why would this game be
It's
any different?
impossible for Virtus
Well,
Pro
this
to
is in
deal.
League.
Also,
I can tell you that.
I was actually either out of range of the BRB or it got broken broken before he went down.
League is
Since he
known to
didn't
be
get
like
brought back up by
shit.
it. Now he's getting the Guardian Shield stagger, but this is last fight coming on through from Virtus Pro, and they don't have a good ultimate to be able to open it up with. They've got to just rely on dive attention from Finzi, drawing Na'Vi's attention, but when Na'Vi have damage boosted Fate of both worlds, they're going to be able to live the brawl fight and win it easily.
A reversal from Idrisil Path potentially on the docket. 3
I feel like
rivals off the cards coming.
I feel
in
like
close
even
and
if you
personal.
played League
Naga manages to dodge away, but fires quick in pursuit of the Rage
and
of
someone
Ultra.
does say some fucked up shit, I feel like it wouldn't matter to you, because if you're already playing League, you're probably already dead inside. I'm sorry, that game, I heard that game is shit. I've never played it, probably don't think I ever will, but I heard that game is, ooh.
An express delivery into the enemy back lines. Finzi does his best to try and sustain through this one. Fate takes out the Druidro. The invisible boundary cannot heal Finzi through. The collective damage, a raid by Na'Vi.
Yeah, no, wild. That's a fake account, man.
Someone on Midtown just got struck by it.
Uh-oh,
But
chat.
it's
Do you
Na'Vi striking back at
think we'll have a
Virtus Pro.
reverse sweep?
2-1.
They got
there
full
is
health.
reason. There's method in the madness for why Crisis used Kraken Impact on an Invis woman who had double jump. And it's
Nice.
zoning, quite literally.
Full
because
hell,
they had
bro.
Invis boundary. Not just that, they also would have had Guardian Shield to be able to stagger in front of the either the
Hey,
Human
hey,
Torch
put
or
in
the
Crisis,
Ultron,
and
which
Crisis
meant the
will
Rage
do
of Ultron
work.
would have had so much more staying power and
Put in
lethality
Crisis,
to its
and
namesake
Crisis
as
will
well.
do
So the
work.
fact that they were able to put so much pressure onto the Invis entirely zoned Saipe out of that last fight and meant that when Invis boundary comes up on the objective,
So Crisis
it's
is
too
J3
late
on the
and Virtus
Bucky.
Pro
I
have already
actually
lost too
coached
many
Crisis.
players
If
to be
you
able to
if you
pull
go
the fight
ask him,
back.
he'll be like, yeah, J3.
Having both
God
the
Bucky,
Flake and the
he
Guardian
coached
Shield
me.
as well for Naga means 0 casualties.
Wait,
0
Fate,
returns
what are
to
you
a small
doing in my
room.
chat, bro? Go fucking play your
28 and
game.
0. This
You
is
gotta
what we've
reverse
seen
sweep
start
this.
to become a
Hey,
priority ban for many
get back in there.
And for the side of Na'Vi,
Get-
a priority protect that was
You need to focus. Stay in the lane. Carry this momentum into your next game. What are you doing here?
Still on match point. Since they've now lost this one, they get the opportunity to
Angry dad energy? How, chat? I'm not angry. I'm telling him to focus.
decide which
Listen.
side they want to be on. So what they could honestly
These
do
games
is
are hard.
actually pick the side which allows them to
And
balance
Na'Vi
the
has to
Na'Vi
be
to
harder.
save, and instead
They have to win this.
the Jeff or the Mantis, because so much of Na'Vi strategies, it appears,
No, I'm pretty sure they're on a
relied
break.
that Star-Lord. They banned the Peter Quill instead.
Hey, baby boy.
I mean, taking it away.
Okay, chat, hold on. Give me a
Naga
second. I
could
gotta go
be
to the
a
bathroom now.
huge
They're gonna go on a
Sorry.
break, I'm pretty sure.
I've been allergic
Chat, if you guys
to
see
these
Fate
first
in my
point
chat again,
holds. I think I'm
yell at
having an
him to go
episode
play his game.
box.
Hold on, I gotta go to the
And,
bathroom
well,
before this
there
next
it
match.
is. Like, Na'Vi refuse to go down 0-3. They don't want to be summarily destroyed by Virtus Pro. And potentially the momentum of a series going back their way. Now, we can assume that Virtus Pro probably going to try and avoid domination for their map pick, but it was incredibly close against Na'Vi. Maybe we see a return to Araco.
I was gonna say, I think it's gonna be Araco. Because then you put so much pressure as well onto Na'Vi to have to force ban out either the Ultron or the Human Torch. We'll have to wait and see, though, whether we're correct, as we'll be back with that map after this short break.
So a series it is then. No speed running through to our best of 7 between the victor of this series and Citadel, as Na'Vi decide to strike back on Hall of Jalia. But now, Mox, the series is in the hands of Virtus Pro on match point and having their map pick.
Yeah, and they're going to take us to Convoy, but it's not going to be Araco. It is going to be Midtown coming on through. I wonder if that's going to be trying to force the bans over towards the Vanguards to free up duelists and strategist lines. As we've seen on Yggdrasil Path, a lot of those Vanguards, things like the Emma and the Groot, were removed from both sides, thus freeing up drafts to allow in stronger strategists and duelists for both of these